Hello. Welcome to the weekly review with Sean Rock. I am Sean, the King of Tourism here. And of course, I am joined along with.
And it's your boy, Ciroc the Mike. How we doing?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Just got back from my nice little hotel stay. I take a week off.
How was that?
So, it's all good. It's all good. You know, it's my favorite hotel in the city. You know, it's the most expensive one too. So let's go ahead to go and say, hey, my peeps, you know.
How is it in there?
What's going on?
Is it as bad in the hospital as they say it is?
It is as bad as they say it is. It is definitely as bad as they say it is. It is. The nurses don't stop running.
Okay.
Period. They're always going. From previous moments, nurses have some downtime. They no longer have any kind of downtime at all. They have to eat working now.
Do they give you like you got like a button, like if it's an emergency or something like that, like you need a nurse, you can call them like a button, right? Is that how that works? I haven't been in the hospital in a long time.
Yeah. There's a little button you push, and it works. It actually works even better now because now they actually have someone at the desk that actually answers all the time. But that doesn't mean you're going to get help immediately. That just means they answer. They determine where you are on that help list, and then you'll see them in that few hours.
I kind of pictured it like you ring it and they be like, hello, and you be like, I need a nurse. They're like, are you dying? I'm like, nah, all right then. They say, only call us if you are dying. And if you are dying, we gonna know anyway.
It's almost like that at this point. It really is. It's almost like that at this point. But I gotta, give my salute to them. They do a good work. You know, they took care of me, and they're taking care of all these people here in Tampa. So
you know what they should do
for all they do.
You know what they should do? You know how like there's always like the naysayers that are like, oh man, this is, this whole COVID stuff is overblown and yada yada yada. Like it should be like a live feed into like hospitals, so then you can like kind of see for yourself. Because a lot of times, if you're not aware, or if you're one of the ones who, I guess we're sick and we're fine, or you're a rebel or whatever it may be, you may not take it that serious. But like if there was just like a constant live feed at like your local hospitals, then you'd be able to see like, holy shit, just like the COVID department, or even
you would
COVID department, or how that works. But that's how it should be.
It looks completely different. I mean, it's not like I go there every day or anything, but from the last
redecorated. Wow, this is so nice.
But from from when I was in there, early last year to now, it's a completely different hospital on the inside. I mean, they've got things sectioned off. They got things quarantined, sort of, kind of. You can't even go in the hospital the same way you used to go in it anymore. Now you have to go around this whole kind of a maze thing.
Wow.
You're not getting in the hospital unless they let you in. They got people out there waiting. They triage you pretty much. Not triage. They, what's the word? They
spray you down with that stuff? Like
No. They just they check questions and they run a fever check on you and all that. But they make sure before you go in that building, they do all these questions. They do a screener basically right there on the outside.
But that's so difficult, man. You could literally like be like dying of something. Like you could have some type of, issue. And then once it's on paper, are you suffering from this? Oh, no, I'm not. But like that, people, I do not trust people at all. They just bullshit. Like, wow, according to this list of, of reports we have, everybody should be healthy in here. No one should be sick. Man, I don't know how they do it. Last time I've been to the hospital, and this is going to be the dumbest story ever, but I went to this hospital like a year ago, not because I was sick, not because I was visiting someone. I was looking for Starbucks at like 11 o'clock at night. And at the time, apparently there's a Starbucks in the hospital.
Yes, it was right behind my room, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so I drove to the hospital. In like, it wasn't the emergency entrance, but like the security guard was like, are you visiting someone? I was like, no. Like, all right. Well, luckily he didn't ask, why are you here? But he gave me a little pass and I just went straight to the Starbucks, and everybody's like in their scrubs and stuff. And I'm just standing there like in basketball shorts. I'm like, yeah, could I have a Americano, please? And then just walk out. I'm like, that guy was really nice. But yeah, man, that's good
funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
How you really
nice. It's actually a good Starbucks. I'm here, right? I mean, I'm good enough to keep going.
I hear you. But man, it's been a crazy week though. I mean,
so yeah, how was your week, man? How was your week?
Oh man, my week was good. What was it? I keep losing track of time. What was it? Last week was the first week of the new year, and so far,
yeah.
Would you assume that 2021 will be any different than 2020? I mean, so far it's kind of off to a bumpy start.
So let's see. Let's take this logically. So on the first day of 2021, I'm like, yay, it's a new year, new things, got the vaccine rolling out. I'm like, yeah, we got the houses again. Yeah, you know, we can get back to real life. And then, let's see, that was the first. Then what was like the third? There was an uproar, you know, about votes being fake and people not believing in our systems and all that crap.
I'm sure you can. I don't understand the whole fake vote situation. Like, you just make it up. I don't know how that works.
It's
like, what's the accusation?
Well, it's kind of funny. So if you look on Twitter or whatever, you will swear that we've been faking votes since the day the country was even created, pretty much. Right. I'm sure there's been some, but it's the way they have it, it's like it's rampant. It's what really makes the decisions in elections. It's crazy. And they make it seem like it's just something that someone snaps their fingers and it's done. You know, not that there's got to be like, there's 50 states, there's numerous counties. You talking about trying to get all these people on the same page, doing the same plan, and no one finding out. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's just it's too grand of a scheme to, like, you know, I mean, maybe in a movie it seems possible.
In a movie, yeah.
But it's like, you know, I told somebody else about this, you know, we were complaining about like how, you know, these votes were flipped or how the state, like, and, you know, they have all these lawsuits about voter fraud. But, you know, I noticed like it only seemed to be the lawsuits against the states that, you know, so-and-so thought that they would win. You know, how come it wasn't like a lawsuit in every state, right? You can't just be like, oh, since I lost that, obviously I got cheated. You know, how come you didn't question the states that you already won yourself? You know, so you lose the integrity when you like pick and choose, you know, what's going to help you.
When you have a double standard. Yeah. When you have a double standard, it's like, if I won it, it didn't cheat. If I didn't win, they cheated.
Yeah.
How's that a standard? What kind of standard is that?
Sore losers. Some people are like that. You know, some people are so confident, or not confident, but so full of themselves. So we're like, the only way that they could possibly lose something is they got cheated, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, and if you, I don't know, if you got cheated, but I doubt in an election that's been going on in the country for centuries that this one election, of course, happened to Trump. He got cheated. Like,
just as one guy. Just as one guy. It's like common sense thinking, critical thinking, all that comes into play here. It's just how really feasible is it? And so that was the third and the fourth, you know, and it's not my job to answer that question, but I can answer it. There's been no election fraud. There may be in like 2 or 3 guys or ladies here or there who, you know, fill out their deceased spouse's information, but that's about it. That's about it. There's no like Democratic Party or Republican Party going around with
just frisbee and votes out the window
and trailer trucks full of votes. Come on, it's just common sense.
But you know, like somebody's gonna see something. Like it's not.
Yeah.
There's no like proof either. You know, it's just like he say, she say.
It's a he said, she said, and every single case and they brought to court has been dismissed. Well, except for one. So
which one is that?
They're 59-1. It was one in Pennsylvania where they had to what's the word? Basically audit the votes. They were trying to audit it a different way, and they had to audit it the way that they had previously put out before the voting had taken place. But that's it. 1 out of 60.
And like, the funny part is, it's like, you know, how come this election, every form of mailing or writing in a vote or actually going there is all in the question now? You know, people are like, the server, the Dominion server was hacked, or the mailman was throwing them out, or you know, dead people were signed. Like, come on, man. Like, the more nonsense you add to it, the less credible it seems.
Yes, exactly. The whole thing with the Q people about how the Democratic Party is Satan worshiping pedophile baby eaters. What?
Like who makes up this stuff? Like, I always wonder, like, who makes this stuff up? Like, there must be somebody people who are just like, you know, specific fire starters. Like, what can I say that's gonna cause a riot or a ruckus?
But can you imagine the thinking in this person's head? What can I say that is believable, but so far fetched that they can't prove it, and people will believe me?
Well, the problem is what hurts everything is that, social media and the media we see on TV, 90% of the time when it's not an election year, it's still a whole bunch of nonsense and bogus stories and, stuff to get you riled up and mad. And then, when you got that type of platform already doing that, and then you throw election in there, it's going to be even worse. Sometimes I'm not mad at some people who believe crazy news stories because maybe they just don't know any better. Maybe Facebook is literally their number one source of information, and they trust it more.
Which I would be okay with if there would be like a caveat on these, basically I'm calling about grassroots news corporations or news people, journalists. Like, look, say you're an amateur journalist, or say you're you're just not getting into this stuff. So people know, maybe I want to check behind this person. They may not be spouting the truth, but instead they just believe anything that's written. As long as it looks like it's unofficial, as long as it looks legit, it's good for them.
Yeah. And the sad part is, misinformation is super contagious too, right? So so scenario, think of like, maybe some 60-year-old, and I'm not trying to say older seniors, whatever, don't know what they're doing or anything like that. But like, say you're new to Facebook, right? Like for us, we grew up with Facebook. We know how it works. We know most of us know what's real and what's probably made up or a meme or, some type of funny video that's, edited. But like say you're 60 something, you're new to Facebook and you log in and you got a couple friends that, Cheryl and Sam down the street, you guys got your little groups and stuff like that. You don't know any better. You don't understand. Like, you came in 11, 12 years after, the platform has already been established. And now when you go in there, you're not familiar with, ad marketing geared towards specifically the stuff you click on. You don't know you probably don't even know what an ad blocker is. But so it's easier for them to be tricked. And not only that, once they see it and believe it, they tell others. And now you start these giant groups of, conspiracy theorists who believe this, but none of them have any sources or a way to prove it.
Yeah, no sources, no way to prove it, no evidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's.
And I'm not saying somebody's wrong, but you got to be able to prove it.
Yeah, like, show me. That's what people prove something. That's what we want. If you're gonna ask me if Democrats are all, above board and holy, no, hell no. They're politicians.
I'm not even a fan of Joe Biden. I'm not. I mean, Trump is just. I'm sorry. I get. It's not for me. I'm sorry.
I know that's pretty much what the game down to is Biden or this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Biden. That's pretty much what it came down to. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited to vote for Biden. No, it's like it was really more of I'm voting for Kamala Harris and I'm voting for Biden because he's the guy who won the ticket.
And the thing is, like, I'm probably voting for policies that could possibly hurt me or not in my best interest. But at the end of the day, man, like, the leader of the country has to have some type of,
morals,
his character has to be A1. Yeah, like, I just don't want that type of person representing us. And you can see after things don't go Trump's way, how it's just like everything falls apart. Right.
Which is where we're getting to the sixth. To go along with it. So, that was the first 4 days. The fifth was kind of a calmish day. And then the sixth.
Taco Tuesday. It was definitely
Taco Tuesday. Yeah. It's kind of calmish.
Probably why people were mad. Happened. They had their shits Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, like, man.
That's probably why there was shit smeared on the walls and the floors, because they couldn't hold it anymore.
That's insane.
But yeah. So on the sixth, we decided, not we, take my name out of that shit. On the 6th, this crazed mob of insurrectionists, rioters, decided that they were going to try and overthrow our election and perpetuate what they call a self-coup, which means that the current sitting president was trying to continue to hold power after his presidency ended.
Okay,
that's pretty much the definition of a self-coup.
Now, how would they, like? Because that's the one thing I was wondering, like, how would they even, like, what was their plan? Like, how would they even go about, You just break in and what kill the I don't understand. Like,
well, I can actually kind of give you the plan because I actually read an article about by Fiona Hill, who she did an opinion piece for the Washington Post. Or no, was it Post or New York Times? No, it was Politico. It was Politico. Fiona Hill, she used to be the Russian advisor to the president, to Trump. She's also the one who did testimony back during his impeachment hearings. Very smart woman. Regardless of what your party is, she's smart. She knows her stuff. She broke it down bit by bit, and it's on. If you want to look it up, it's on Twitter. It's on Politico. It's a great piece. But she broke it down. Was basically said that his plan started last year.
So he planned knew this could happen.
Yeah, he already knew once he knew who he was going to go against and knew he was top Democrat party, he put his plan in motion. Which the first time it came out was over the summer, was when he started pushing the idea that they're trying to cheat voting machines, the voting systems are rigged, the voting's rigged, the machines are messed up, all this other stuff. That's what he just put out over the summer. And then as he kept getting closer and closer to the day, his rhetoric kept picking up and gaining momentum.
Yep.
So that was step one. His second step was to get the military behind him. He did that.
Yeah, that's once you get that, it's a clean. Well, could be a clean sweep.
Yeah. Well, he did. He tried. He fired people who disagree with him, Secretary of Defense who disagree with him, Secretary of the Army.
That must be nice, right? Must be a nice little control of power. Like, you was 2 minutes late. Like, no, you was 10 minutes late. You're fired. Like, you could just fire people for whatever. Like, did I tell you not to wear that color? Get out of here.
Yeah, you're the president. They serve at the pleasure of the president. But he tried that. He thought he had the military behind him by firing these people, and then lo and behold, no, the military is not going to back what you want, because we, as being a member, we're not sworn to a person, we're sworn to the country. Right. That's the way it goes. So that was the second step. His third step was to get the judiciary behind him, which he's been doing that this whole time. He's been putting not just Republican judges in federal seats, but he's been putting Trump loyal Republican judges in these places. That way, they're loyal. Yeah, that way they're loyal to him. So his thought was, once he got the cases thrown up to the Supreme Court, that the people he put in the Supreme Court would side with him, because he's been saying that since forever, before the election even started. That if the election takes to the Supreme Court, that is going to go to him anyway, because that's his people, and he
got all my people in place.
That's what he said. He's got my people, and they didn't back him up. So his plan was.
I know
he followed the plan, but it fell apart. He followed the same plan that Turkey's president followed, that Putin has followed, that Napoleon Bonaparte's nephew followed. He followed the same playbook of dictator coups. He just failed. But getting back to the nitty gritty, was the main part of it was he needed a following. Yeah, and he's got a following, because it's not supposed to be you're voting for one person, or you're not supposed to be you're loyal to a person. You're supposed to be loyal to your party, right? Republican, Democrat. But instead, people are like, no, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm a Trumpster.
See, that's what kind of messed them up a little bit too, I feel like, right? Because if it's two sides, you got Republicans and and Democrats, if you add in a third, as far as like the Trumpsters, like, yeah, they're gonna vote for Trumps, but now some of the Republicans might not get along with the Trumpsters. So some of them votes you could have had all Republican now probably switched over to the other side, probably just to spite you, not even really to vote for them. You know what I mean? Like you split one half in half, instead of having that half, now you got a quarter, third,
a third of what you should have had. Yeah.
1, 2. So, but his third is crazy as hell.
Yeah, that third is crazy. That third stormed our Capitol. That third had a guy walking around with a Indian headdress on with ox horns coming out of it.
I was like, this dude is from Game of Thrones.
I was like, I saw it because of course I watched it live. I saw that. I was like, what are these fools doing?
Yeah, I'm like, is that a cosplay? What's going on? It's cosplay at the Capitol. Like, damn, everybody dressed up in outfits, and people was like climbing the walls. I was like, yo, it's a front door. Like, it's not that serious.
No.
Not like it's a fortress. Just go around.
They were climbing the walls when there's like these huge, wide steps.
Yeah.
10 feet to the right or their left, and you're climbing the wall.
You got to understand, like, 90% of them never been to the Capitol. They're like, what? My GPS is not, I got to sprint. I don't get no signal out here. I'm just following this dude because he looked like he worked here. But like, what was so say, all right, so they break in, and then like, say if you were a Trumpster, right? Like you were one of the protesters. All right, we got through the first phase. We broke in. Now what we supposed to do?
Well, that's where the trained people came in. Mm-hmm. So there were people flashing their badges. There were also allegedly, make sure I throw that out there. There was also allegedly Capitol police officers who were helping them on the inside, taking selfies with them and watching them just come in, opening gates, waving them in.
They can easily be Trumpsters. Like I always imagine like one of the cops is like, or one of the security is like, hey, what's up, Jim Bob? Yeah, man, I get off in about 3 hours, and then I brought my clothes with me and changed it to the outfit that we taught. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was way too easy for them to get in there.
There was one Capitol police officer who apparently, this is all allegedly from the rest of the shows, so I don't have to say it anymore, but who put on a MAGA hat, and was directing them where to go to find
ladies and gentlemen,
the Speaker of the House, to find the senators, to find the House chambers. So basically, I had people telling them, "Hey, they're this way. Go this way. Goodness. You'll find them." Yeah. So I mean, they had a plan. The plan was to go get Pence, to go get Pelosi, and to go
kidnap them.
Yeah, they had zip ties. They had a gallows outside. Do you know what a gallows is?
Was that like where you get your head cut off? And that's a guillotine.
Yeah, that's a guillotine. The gallows is where you hump. Is where they hang you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what's worse. Yeah, I probably just.
They're both bad. They're both just horrible.
No win either one.
Yeah, I mean, your neck is gonna be snapped on both machines.
So that was a plan. Like holy shit.
That was their plan. I mean, and there was pockets of them. They had walkie-talkies. They had equipment that I would use overseas to take a home or to take a town. They had it in our Capitol building.
So this was well, I won't say super well planned, but planned at least.
There were certain members that planned it very well. And if you go and this goes into what you're going to go into, but they've been planning this since before the election even took place. They have been planning on basically an insurrection, a coup, this for a long time, and finally they had a person who was behind their way of thinking, egging them on, allegedly.
Yeah. And I remember him like saying, like, I remember reading something. I don't know if it was just nonsense, but trying to enact like a 3-year term or something that extended beyond the normal 2 terms for presidency.
He wanted another term. He wanted another term.
Since I'm here, let me make a law that says I could be here forever.
Pretty much, that's what he wanted. And luckily enough, there's quite a few checks and balances, but there still is a whole host of people who are loyal to just him and just his rhetoric. And we're talking, and after you saw the Capitol, that's just who came to the Capitol. That doesn't involve the people who are online, who are supporting these people. Still to this day, you're saying, well, what about Black Lives Matter? What about Antifa? What about this? No mention of the fact these people literally just went into our Capitol building, our Capitol, and tried to mess some shit up.
If they could do that, they could just walk in the White House, go in the kitchen, make a sandwich. Hey, how you doing? Like, I mean, when people see stuff like that, like, damn, is that easy? Or like, it's either really that easy, or like you said, you got people on the inside who let it happen. So I mean, if that was a group of, and I know this comparison's already been made, but like, like even Black Lives Matter activists, that would have they would have never even been downtown DC. No. Like that would have never happened. No,
it would have been a massacre.
20,000 cops, National Guard, probably hired military, like all types of nonsense. But and that's what kind of sucks even more though, because Trump kind of like lit the flames. So he started the fire pretty much. Go ahead, walk down there. And as of today, I saw that he's not taking responsibility for it. Pretty much,
No,
I didn't do anything wrong. I forgot what he said exactly, but
he's basically saying that it's not his responsibility. That
totally appropriate. That speech beforehand. Like if that's not if that doesn't give you enough reason to get this dude out, like come on. I mean, he's already out, but you know what I mean. Like it's just how did you not
go ahead and get him out? Take the nuclear codes from him. Let's just cut this off.
Damn, now. The nuclear shit. They should change. They should have been changed that.
That's what I'm saying. He literally has the power to start a war. He still has the power to start a war. Yeah, and that will be one way. That will be one of the ways for him to retain power. And he knows that if a war breaks out, especially if it's a significant threat to us, then the chance of him retaining power is there.
I think at this point he's lost like all type of credibility as far as like order making. Like if you was, I don't know who's in charge of pressing nuke buttons, but like if you that first level guy, you're like, nah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Whatever I should call you, but you got a week left, man. Don't mess it up, please. You got a week left.
See, you want to say that, right? That's what you want to say, but it's not true because he's still the man sitting in the seat. Pelosi can call it there all she wants to, but until he's not the man in that seat, he still has the power to push the button.
That's crazy. I kind of wonder, like, what, like, because there's he's had this hype train for 4 years now, and obviously things got crazy the past couple of weeks. But like, fast forward to let's say June or something like that. Like, do you think there's still going to be like Trumpers out there? Like, I mean, what will be their goal? Like, nothing. Everything's already over, or just a whole bunch of angry people just to be angry.
I think it's gonna be a whole bunch of angry people just be angry. I think they're still gonna be loyal to Trump. Yeah, I think they're still gonna be loyal to Trump, but I think they'll lose some.
Yeah,
I think they'll lose some of their following, but I think he'll still have a pretty strong following that's gonna be loyal to him.
But I wonder what's he gonna do? Like, is he gonna stay in politics? Is he gonna go back to doing whatever he was doing beforehand? Or
well, see, that's a good question because he can't. I mean, president's up for 4 years. He's done. There's that's over. I don't think he wants a lower office than that. So I don't think for the next 3 years, I think all he's going to do is just talk about Joe Biden, about how bad Biden is, just so he can try to get the seat back.
Well, he'll be doing it on Twitter.
Well, that's what I was going to get into because, so his outlook, basically, his way of talking to the masses was Twitter. Twitter. And so, and at the same time, all those Q conspiracy people and those Anon people, all that crap, they're big on Twitter too. So Twitter decided just to erase 70,000 accounts. 70,000.
Good.
All of them were basically conspiracy theories ones or hate ones. Right. And these people are still mad about it. But this was more your story. I'll let you take that one.
Well, yeah, he got banned actually from a couple different platforms. Obviously, Twitter's the big one and Facebook's the big one. But there were like some smaller ones on there as well, which I thought was kind of funny. I don't know if this was true or not. Really? I saw one with like Spotify. I was like, damn, you can't even like how mad, like I would be so pissed if you could be on none of those. Like, damn, I guess I don't know. What would you do? You would.
The internet is banned.
You can't even go on the internet.
Yeah.
Did he get banned from Google? No, I don't think you can.
Not only he got banned from Google, but Google banned like a lot of his things, like things that he carried. They banned that kind of stuff. Like they banned the fact of that Parler app thing.
Oh yeah, they shut that down. Like that's what's crazy. Like it's kind of, but it's also kind of scary though because. And this is something I kind of agree with the whole like how big tech like runs everything. Like
they do.
The fact that like imagine like just try to imagine if you got same instance as Trump got banned from all these platforms. Like what could you do? Like they control the internet damn near or ways to get online. I mean, there's obviously you can hack and go that whole espionage route, but like for normal me and you, like we would be kind of lost a little bit, you know?
Well, yeah. But caveat to that is normal me and you wouldn't be trying to throw the government either.
That's very true. That's very true.
I mean, that was kind of like the straw that broke it, though. I mean, he's set off all kinds of stuff over the years, not just during his presidency, but before then too, that they allowed to go on. This was fine. This is the last thing that they were like, okay, we got to cut it out. But no, I see your point. I do see your point, because big tech can all of a sudden just shut you up if they want to, and they've done,
especially on Facebook. Like if you could be put in. Oh my bad, I'm fixing my liner real quick. But you could be put in, like, they always call it Facebook jail. But Facebook is a huge way we use to communicate. And now, I mean, I know it's a free software. You can log off and delete your account anytime. But if you're a social person, you kind of need it in some way or form. You're trying to communicate with family overseas. You kind of need it.
Yeah, and if you're trying to do any kind of social type of business, any kind of social business that requires, an audience or customers, Facebook is the way to get it. Right. It's definitely one of the top ways to doing it. So if you don't have that outlet, that's a huge moneymaker just gone.
Exactly.
That's free advertising and advertising gone.
And they have their hands on everything else too. You know what I mean? Just like
Instagram.
Exactly. So Trump, like, if he tried to start an Instagram account, that's Facebook or Instagram, like that's gone. Snapchat, that's gone. It's just like, you're literally like, you have no really free forms of communication besides just talking and maybe I guess writing letters.
Well, here's the thing though. They banned him, but they didn't like cut off his communication though. He's still the president. So all he's got to do if he wants to talk to someone.
I don't know. He hasn't said anything in a while.
Yeah, I know.
You're live. You got to check on him. Like, hey, you okay in there? You okay in the Oval Office? Hey, man, get it together, man. It's just Twitter.
All you got to do is call a press conference. That's all you got to do. Say, hey, I want to have a press conference.
Right. That's what a normal president would do. He was like, you know what? Let me call a press conference at the White House with my peoples. Let's talk to the nation. Not put your caps lock on and go crazy on Twitter and
yelling fraud.
Yeah. I mean, he's helped Twitter though. Like, I know when he first started, their value obviously increases, but then now, like, their stock price has dropped quite a bit because a lot of his followers literally just made a Twitter just to follow him. So
yeah, I believe it. I mean, a lot of older people that you never would have thought would be on Twitter or on Twitter
don't even know how to retweet. Like, what is this square triangle arrow button do?
Spewing so much hate. I mean, I've not seen this much hate in a public forum since the 90s. I mean, that was the last time I saw this much public hate, literally.
The only more nonsense as far as like like you said, public forum, I would say Call of Duty lobbies. I'm telling you, Modern Warfare 2, you can hear some hateful stuff from a bunch of teenagers and young adults. Go on that. You go hear some things. You can be like, man, I cannot believe that came out of your mouth. That's crazy. Trump should be on that.
I believe it.
Trump should have a Xbox Live account and be in these lobbies and hear some of this shit. You're like, that's a good one. It's a good idea.
That might be where I was about to say. That might be where he got some of this stuff from. Like, oh, that's a good one.
Effing hacker.
He's watching Dunn Jr. and Barron play, and that's where he's getting all his info.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, do you think he'll get? I mean, I know it's a chance. Do you think he'll get impeached before the end of the term?
Yeah. I think they're going to submit it tomorrow, or if not today. They'll submit it. They've already unveiled it and shown what it all is, and all they have to do at this point is just submit it, and it's in there, and then it'll go to the Senate at some point in time. Problem with Mitch McConnell and Trump, but
he can all that shit. Mitch McConnell, woo.
Well, he does for another 10 days, 9 days, or whatever. Not even that long, like 8 days, and then the Senate will be in a Democrat control. So now it's Democrats get to decide, is he impeached or not? That's not going to look good for him.
I wonder what we're going to do.
Yeah. So that's not looking good for him at all. That's but crazy. You make your bed, you gotta lie in it.
That's true. And same for the people who supported it. You know, like they should feel responsible as well. Look at the monster you created.
Yeah, and that's why the 70,000 people who lost their accounts, I'm not mad about it. I do think there should be a space for them to spew their hate. I think
go to one of those what's that place where you can they give you like a sledgehammer, you go in a room, you just smash everything.
Yeah, anger room. Yeah.
I forgot what it's go to one of those. Trust me, you'll feel better.
Get your hate out, better. But I don't think that other people should be forced to have to read their hate.
Yeah, that's true.
And people are like, oh, you just scroll by. You don't just scroll by, because you look at any kind of Twitter, any kind of social, whatever. The moment your eyes hit a word, you've read the word. So you've read the thing as soon as you've seen it. You're not just scrolling by. You're choosing to ignore it, but you're not scrolling by.
And I look at it, and I'm like, and I just go down the rabbit hole, like, okay, well, he said that. Okay, well, they're friends with so and so. Okay, well, damn, look at these motherfuckers. Like, just be all of his people business.
The rabbit hole has gotten me. Like,
I know, right?
Since the riot, the rabbit hole has gotten me. I'm
next
not
thing
even gonna lie.
Next thing you know, you're reading like UFO conspiracies. Like, oh shit, I guess that really did happen. And that's
no. I tell you where it got me to this time. So, and if you have a moment, it's a funny trending topic. So now it's called no fly list. That's the trending topic. And it's all these Trumpsters who try to overthrow the government or caught on camera, whatever. So the Secret Service, FBI, they put out a list barring them from flying. So they're on a no-fly list. They're on no-fly list. And there's these videos of these people getting caught in the airport, being told, and they're losing their mind.
So you get that password, they're like, stand right here for a second. You hold on one second.
Yeah.
You come with us. It's nothing. It's not bad. Trust me. Just come with us. Like, what do you like? Of course, that's like, what do you think that they were just gonna just make a giant scene, be on TV with stealing stuff, smiling, and they would just go to work the next day like nothing happened? Like, come on.
How many of them do you think are just sitting at home right now going, nerves? Did they catch me on camera? Did they catch me on camera? Shit.
Like, oh, should I even go outside? Like,
they're watching the door. They've not been to work in a week.
I'm against quarantining, but now I got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I got to quarantine.
Can't go outside. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess in the moment you're not really thinking, but I guess you are thinking, because
you're thinking.
You took a flight. You had plenty of time to change your mind. You planned it. You took a flight to DC. You got your gear set up, your hats. You got your cameras. You got your mugs full of coffee or beer, whatever you drinking. You broke in. You smiled at the camera. Like, you had so many.
You waved at the camera.
Way. Yeah, you had so many chances to be like, maybe I let them do that, and I'll just see what happens.
And you can't say, "Oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to go in there." When for hours at first you were not allowed to go in, and then all of a sudden now you're allowed to go in when there's a mob. Yeah, that means you're supposed to go in at this point in time. No, you're not supposed to be in there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
one of the funniest ones was the senator, not the senator. He's a delegate out of was it Maryland, West Virginia, who did it. You're a lawmaker, and you decide to go in there. How dumb are you?
Yeah, how dumb are you?
Yeah. Oh no, he was saying whatever his name was. He said such. I forgot his name. Is in the building. Is in the Dan something. Is in the building. He was live streaming the whole time, saying the whole time.
Hey, look, watch this. I'm about to commit this crime real quick, y'all. On live. Oh, what's up, Jim? How you doing? Hey, what's up? Showing everybody love. Yeah, I'm gonna steal this right here, but don't say nothing. Like, so, I don't know.
So here's my question. If you would have been there, how do you think you would react?
If I was one of the supporters?
No, not a supporter. Just been there. Just been there. Just observing or whatever.
I don't know. I would have been like, man, they must be giving some free stuff out over there, because there's a lot of people storming, or like what? Like, I think, like, is it a concert? Is a DJ inside the halls or something like that? And people didn't have tickets that was trying to get in. Like, I don't know. They was wild. And then one of the ladies got shot and killed. Like, what do you like? I mean, yeah. I'm not saying anybody should get shot and killed, but what do you think? What do you think they have guns on their hips? Not for show.
And she was a veteran too. That's the bad part about it. She was a Air Force veteran. Knowing what we were told from day one, we signed on the dotted line on how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to react, and what we're supposed to do. And she's the first idiot to try and jump through a window with a gun pointed at her.
Yeah, like what? You gonna shoot you in the? I mean, didn't they say it was like an accident though?
No, there's no way I was an
No.
accident.
Okay.
No, no.
It's hard to have like aim at somebody, point a gun, and then accidentally shoot him.
No.
Like, no. That's what's gonna happen.
He was in his absolute right to shoot. There was a mob. They were coming through a broken window. That's in a barricade. The door was barricaded, and they were coming through a broken window. She had a backpack on with a cape over it. You had no idea what she had on her. Whatever.
And that's another thing. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like somebody, I'm sure that people were carrying guns or, you know, had them concealed in some way or form. And it's like, at the end of the day, you know, those Secret Service agents, they gonna do their job, or the cops. I mean, security gonna hopefully do their job.
Yeah, isn't that sad? We have to put that in there now. Hopefully do their job.
Well, if you're security, you got to be thinking like, man, they don't pay me enough for this shit. Like, that's the first thing I be thinking like, yo, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah, but if you're security and your job is to protect the Capitol, then you're a little bit more than just security. So do your job. Do your job. That's true. Yeah.
I'm like, what? Looks like I'm about to hit overtime about 10 minutes from now, so I might go there and head out of here. Not covered under my benefits package. Man,
that one officer though, who literally took the mob on by himself.
Oh, that
with just a baton. Yeah, man. And then it turns out that so they're chasing him, and first he's trying to get back up, and then they get to the Senate hall where basically all they do is go a different way, and they're riding right to all the senators. And instead of going that way, he's like, "No, let me do this," and he starts getting their attention to come chase him again the other direction. Yeah, basically over here, come get me. And they come after him. He literally walks into a whole bunch of other cops, and I don't know why after that, but he saves quite a few senators' lives, if you ask me.
Yeah, he got patience because I don't get that. I would have smacked the first one with a baton, and then like I was like, hey, I'm gonna take on all y'all. I don't care. I'm gonna take on all y'all. One of y'all gonna get shot. Y'all probably overpower me eventually, but a couple of y'all going. So think about that before you try to rush. Yeah, just letting you know.
Some of you aren't gonna leave this Capitol today. You decide who. We
want our freedom. Like, well, you better be free to hit the face. That's I can tell you. Oh man, that was crazy. Man. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next couple weeks. But
but definitely, if you're just having a bad day, now it's kind of down in life, let's type in no fly list, it's funny, and it's just so funny. I mean, it really is.
Like you just gotta rent a car now. It looks like you're on the no rent a car list either. Damn, you're on the list. You gotta change. You have to change your name, unless you legally cannot change your name list. Then you kind of screw after that.
I just know that they're just sitting there, just scared out of their minds, waiting for that doorbell to ring. Or some of them are still driving home because they couldn't get on a plane, so they had to rent a car or whatever.
And then you got to explain like your family and stuff, like, "Oh, what happened? Why'd you have to cancel your flight?" "Oh, Mom. I don't know, man. I think I got COVID. I don't know."
Well, we have a trip to Hawaii. We have a trip to Hawaii next month, right? Oh well, I might have to take a boat. Meet you there.
Turns out you on a no boat list either. Damn. You literally cannot go anywhere without us knowing. All right.
Yeah, you stuck.
We know you work tomorrow, so you better show up, or you're gonna no work list too. All right. So yesterday, I don't know if you watched, but the reigning champs won. Well, I don't know if they were.
They were not reigning champs. Clemson. LSU is reigning champs.
Yeah, I forgot which team, but Bama won again, and that's their 6th title in 12 years. Do you think college football is just like, you think it's getting like boring because the same damn teams keep winning or making it to the playoffs?
Up until 2015, I would agree with you. I would have said, because it's always Ohio State and Alabama. That's pretty much all it was. But then Clemson came to my hometown team came into it, and we changed the game for many years. We still have changed the game. I mean, we were one game from getting it, and our quarterback his head just wasn't in the game, and that's the only reason why we didn't go last night. That being said, it's all about recruiting. So,
but the same schools, should they be limited?
Yeah. But they are. I mean, there's only so many kids you can recruit, and there's more than that many kids that are really good in football out there.
Let me ask you this: should it be like a limit as far as like star level recruits, right? Because you have 5-star, 4-star, 3-star recruits, whatever. Like Alabama, say if it was just fair across the board, like every team is limited to 2
5
5-star
stars.
recruits. Yeah,
I give
2.
5.
No, 5 is a lot. Is it
for each team?
For each team, yeah, 2. So everybody, or is that unfair?
I say 5. That way you have 2 linemen that's 5-star. You have a back, maybe that's 5-star. You have someone on defense that's 5-star.
Okay. All right.
So,
that's fair.
you got to kind of spread it out a little bit. But then after that, yeah.
I just think it's boring. I didn't even watch the game yesterday.
I watched part of it, but I stopped after third quarter. I was done at third quarter. Once the score was 45-28, and then they scored again, was 52. I was done after that point. I was just like, yeah, this is a blowout. Being a Clemson fan, I was going for Ohio State because of course I didn't want Alabama to win.
Right.
And I was looking for a player, TWR Mitchell. I was looking for him because he plays for Ohio State, but he wasn't. I think he's on special teams or whatever.
I'm happy they lost. I think rules.
Let me mad because Michigan hasn't been in the top 20 in 20 years.
If we would have played them, we would have beat them. That's all I can say. And it showed yesterday. You see how Alabama just Alabama wasn't doing that to us.
How about we'll go back to the overwhelming question in a second, but how about Devontae Smith?
Yeah,
that kid. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what Clemson's defense would have did with him because he's fast, he's agile, get out,
And they knew it too.
Yeah.
Like you are a star athlete when they know how good you are and they like double team you or triple team or put as many people on you as possible and you still do good. Like, yeah, that's just straight talent. Like, where it's coming. When you just can't stop it, you can't stop it. It sucks.
Someone did a meme, Photoshop meme that had, that Ohio State and Alabama matched up, and then someone moved the entire team of Ohio State to guard against DeMonte and no one else and the rest of it.
That's a shame. And it's funny. Yes, it boils down to recruiting, but it's also like, damn, is Nick Saban that good of a coach where he just constantly has these different guys that you never heard of, or well, I guess you've heard of in the NFL now, but who just play well? Do you play better because you're on a good team?
He's a good coach. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, it's like eating glass saying that, but he is a good coach. You got to give him props too. He's brought Alabama to 6 championships. He's, in so many years, he took, was it Auburn or was it Florida State? Not Florida State. It was Auburn, or what was the team he came from?
I don't know.
Okay, I forgot. But he took the other one to a national championship as well.
Yeah, I guess if you could do it with multiple teams, then you are obviously good at what you're doing.
Yeah, he's a good coach, and he also has a really good supporting cast around him too. That's what it's not just what you do. Is did you hire responsibly enough or smart enough to make sure that everyone around you can do not just their job but your job as well.
Right,
and it seems like
it's so weird too, though, right? Because you would think I was watching the USC documentary with the Reggie Bush and Matt Liner, and it was just so much more. Like, USC had that appeal. You in LA, you in Hollywood, and all this crap, and and you got UC. It's just great. But then always thought damn, I wonder what Alabama's pitching. Like, hey, come on down to Alabama. Like, we got grass. My mom could cook for the team.
I've asked that same
appeal. What was that first appeal? Like, how would you? This is 1965. How are you gonna recruit me to Alabama?
I've actually asked that same question because everyone who knows me knows I don't like Alabama or Mississippi. I'm not talking about the college. I'm talking about the states.
State.
This the state. But because of history and racism, all that stuff, I'm just not a big fan of the state. So whenever I drive I-10, which hasn't been in a while now, whenever I drive I-10 going to Texas, those 2 states, I'm barely in. Like I'm going as fast as I possibly can to get through those two states.
Gas.
Don't only because right on the border. Right on the border is that's me. I get it right on the edge of the border, so I have to stop in the middle because that's where it really is bad. Believe me, I know because that's why I stopped in the middle once before, and I learned that one. No, not again.
You lost, you lost, boy. Are you lost?
Pretty much
around these parts. You don't look like it with those plates.
Exactly. So those two states I just don't like them. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't like them, and I don't want them here. Oh man.
But I don't know how you get me as a star football player back in the 90s.
You would have to just be like
I met with Ohio. I met with Georgia Tech when they were big. When I was playing football back in high school, I met with USC, a couple other schools. It wasn't even in my wildest dreams to think about Ole Miss or Alabama. Neither one of those two teams. Never in a million years. And then you see really good players go to these two schools, and you're asking yourself, isn't the racism bad enough where you just have to say no at some point?
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, but I think like they probably keep them. I wouldn't say like isolated, but like
that's probably a good word. That's probably a good word.
Okay, like you're as a football player, your schedule's probably so busy anyway. Like you don't even have time to like explore. I guess if you had to recruit me, you literally have to be like, your pitch would be like, listen, you only got to show up on game days. We'll fly you back to where you're from now, and we'll pick you up, fly you in Saturday morning. That's it. You don't even got to step on campus. We got somebody doing your classes for you. Your teachers have excused all your absences. You're good to go. I'm like, all right, I guess I can do that.
Yeah.
I guess I can do that.
That was allegedly UNC back in like the 90s.
Yeah. You got the money, do it. I mean, like I said, I feel bad for the first guy that got recruited because he was probably like, what in the hell did I get myself into? But now it's way different.
But they're probably isolated. It probably like they probably don't leave campus very often either. I couldn't imagine wanting to do a whole lot in Birmingham. Yeah.
Is that where it's at? Birmingham, Alabama?
I think.
University of Alabama? It got to be like right on the border or something because I got to be able to have a quick out. When you walk in, you got to know where all the exits are. When you walk into a situation or a school or a building, like where is the nearest exit just in case of shit hits the fan real quick. That's what they should have been doing at the Capitol. Security, I'm like, where's the nearest exit?
Oh, no, it's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Even better.
Yeah. Better. That's what I'm saying. That tells you right there that I definitely need to be close to a border. If that's called Tuscaloosa, I need to be able to get out of this place quick.
Exactly.
Quick.
Exactly. Oh man. Yeah. So you had some. I remember you saying you had something you want to cover real quick.
Oh yeah, we kind of really talked about it. We'll talk about this one. Really kind of discuss, this racism as a whole. It's something we don't do a whole lot of hard topics, but this is a kind of a hard topic, just because. And it goes into the mob, but it also goes before then. It goes years before the mob. It goes back to Obama.
Right.
If you look at statistics, so from the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it kind of looks like this, except for a little while after 9/11 when it kind of spiked because of 9/11, and then it dropped back down relatively to where it was at. And then you had Obama come in office and it considerably drops. Right. Hate crimes, basically hate crimes. That's right. how they measure it. But now it literally looks like a bowl. It looks like it did Obama came right back up, and now it's higher.
Oh yeah, it's probably as high as his. Well, I mean,
it's not quite as high. It's not as high as 9/11 time frame, but it's pretty high.
From the Middle East in September 2nd, 2001, man, I'll be gone. I'll be on the next flight, back to Saudi Arabia. Like, hey, shit, I can't go back.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how we treat them. That's exactly right. And so my point is coming from the South, and you grew up in the North quite a bit. Our upbringing is going to be different as far as interactions and that. So to me, things that are going on now in this country are, I guess, how they say history repeats itself.
Right.
to me, I see it as history repeating itself. As we were supposed to be out of a civil rights fight, and now we seem to be coming right back to the beginning of one. Especially now you have a mob and
just a different generation.
Yeah, you have a mob. You have literally people who are no longer afraid to say, "I just don't like you because of your skin color." You know,
that's true.
You know,
now it's more now with the internet. You can hide. You can hide behind fake names, fake numbers. Like it's like, but people who are cowards who are like that. If you can't say it to anybody's face, well, first you got to ask yourself why you even hate this other person, or why do you feel the way you do. Maybe that stems from, like you said, the way you can grow up or experience, and maybe just influence from people in your family, older adults or whatever it may be. But like I'm the type, man, if you hate me, I mean, I don't fucking care. But you say it to my face, you say some racist to my face, I'm sorry, I'm gonna give you the Mortal Kombat uppercut. Like it's coming. I'm sorry. Like I'm apologizing for what's about to happen to you.
Yeah.
But these days everybody hides behind it. They try to they like you said, try to find fronts to hide behind. Oh, we support this group. They're not racist. I just like their views. And it's like, come on, man, you know what they're doing.
I know exactly. Like the Proud Boys group. Let's use them.
I never even heard of them until like, I don't know,
2 weeks ago?
a month, like 2, 3, like a month ago, month and a half. What is that?
Apparently they've been big. I ain't never heard of them either till then. And all of a sudden they came out of nowhere. I didn't hear about them till the debate. That's when I heard about them. I didn't know who they were. Until then.
I thought it was like an LGBTQ thing. I thought it was.
That would make more sense.
Proud
Boys would make more sense.
Yeah, or maybe like I don't know, maybe they got raped as a child, molested or something. Like now they're Proud Boys. If not afraid to say what happened when they was a kid. Like that's what I thought. Oh, not what they actually are.
Yeah, what they are is, and it's kind of it's weird because if you look it up, there's two. There's two origin stories for them. One is a guy named Enrique Torino. Torino he said he calls himself the founder of the Proud Boys, and he's an Afro-Cuban. But if you know about some Afro-Cubans, a lot of them are racist. A lot of them, they don't see themselves as black; they see themselves as Cuban, and black is a different thing.
Like, well, newsflash, we see you as black.
Yeah, exactly.
You can call yourself whatever you want, but
Yeah, even his supporters who say Proud Boys isn't racist, and they point to him as being the reason they're not racist because he's the leader.
He's a token, yeah.
So they're like, he's black, so how can they be racist? That question always bothers me.
No, he ain't black. But whatever. He confused.
Yeah. So you take him, but then you have another guy in Canada named Gavin McInnes, something like that, and he claims he's the founder of Proud Boys, and even CBC Canada, which is a Canadian, basically Canada's broadcasting channel, like the BBC is in Britain and PBS is here, also state that he's the originator of Proud Boys, and under his umbrella, it's a hate group. It's a hate group. Is both
in Canada?
Both groups, they're a far right group, but under his umbrella, they're a hate group. Both of them are claiming leadership.
Yeah, it's
both
like,
of them are claiming
who's the biggest hater? Who's the biggest hater? Like the Chappelle skit with the player haters ball. Like, I'm the biggest hater. No, I'm the hater.
And the thing about Gavin McInnes is he is unapologetically racist. He has no problem admitting to it. So how is that okay? First, I don't care who's the leader of these two organizations. Put them on the terrorist list because they just attacked the Capitol, for one.
Right.
Yeah.
You can hate as much as you want, but like once you like have a group of haters that are actually like going to do something, then you got to like prevent shit like that from happening.
Yeah, exactly. And so it goes back to my whole beginning of the story is why is it we're back to, and I told you this when we talked about offline, why are we back to the 1920s? And not by technology wise and not by that, but why is it now okay for people to just spot off, say whatever the hell they want, act however the hell they want, do as evident on TV as we saw, whatever the hell they want, and get away with it but yet if you are of a different ethnicity,
right, you get
you
more
can't even do
scrutinized.
a minuscule amount of what they get away with.
I think a lot of them are just are jealous in a sense of like past couple years. I feel like obviously Black people or African Americans, whatever you want to call it, have been in has gained a lot more attention recently, and I think a lot of people get jealous of it. They get upset about it. They hate to see. Hey, look, I can't. When we said, what does a hater hate most? To see somebody winning. And the more hate, that means you're probably doing something good. The more people hate you.
True.
And so I think, obviously Obama was, I think he was a great president, but that probably infuriated a lot of other people, to start these little silly groups and stuff. That for no reason, no real reasoning. Is they just hate to
they
see
just hate them.
a Black man winning. That's it.
Yeah, that's
pretty much. They hate to see a Black man win.
That is absolutely it. That is their only thing, and all these other conspiracies, Q conspiracies, all that crap is nothing. It's just filler for them to be able to.
Because they don't because they don't look like you. You know what I mean? Like when I'm not trying to be a bigger thing like that, but when you have 99% Caucasian presidents and you Caucasian, it's a comfort thing, right? Because you're like, oh well, if you see it, then you think you can be it, and that doesn't mean you will be, but it's possible.
But it's a vision you can envision, basically,
right? And you almost you almost think that only you're worthy of it, or only your race is worthy of it. So then once Obama comes in, it's like, oh shit, like how did this happen? You know what I mean? Like you almost get offended. I mean, not saying everybody did, but I'm just trying
a
to
lot of them
from
did.
a point of view, right? You almost get offended, and then you when you think you're offended, you tend to want to defend yourself, right? And obviously, you can't just go pick up a gun and start. I mean, you can, but that wouldn't be right. But instead of picking up a gun and going shooting random people, you find others like you, and you start these crazy ass hate groups with no real reasoning or leg to stand on, except that they hide behind the clause of, oh, they're trying to steal our freedoms, or oh, they're ruining this, and oh, this and yada 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 yada.
What freedom are they trying to steal?
I don't know.
That's the biggest question. What freedom of yours are they trying to steal? Oh, they're trying to take your guns. I like guns. No, they're not. I love guns. They're not trying to take your guns. In the world. We're not taking your guns. We want to keep criminals from having guns. But we're not trying to take your guns. Come on now.
It's just, it's, I don't know. People want to bitch about, like you said, about the whole freedom thing. And it's like, okay, you've been alive for an example, if somebody 30 said that, you've been alive for 30 years, and you all of a sudden now think that they're trying to, the government is trying to take your freedom away. Like, get the fuck out. Like, you weren't thinking this when you was 15. You weren't thinking this when you was 25, when you was living it up, and, and
you're in the club dropping bottles and doing all this stuff. And,
exactly. And now when it's a pandemic going on and there's all this animosity and all this chaos going on, you want to just all of a sudden just assume that, that someone's trying to take away your freedom. Yeah, you're free to say what you want, you're free to do what you want. Yes, there's always consequences, but
exactly.
Trust me. That the funny thing is, I was talking with a buddy of mine, and when this whole Capitol stuff was going on TV, and they were really like concerned and worried and very like emotional, like it kind of affected them, I guess. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, look, I know we see on TV looks crazy, but like, you don't understand how good you have it here. Like, you go to another country, like this shit happens all the time, and it's way worse than what you're seeing on TV. This shit you would never hear in the news, where instead of them storming the Capitol, they got guns and bombs going off trying to overthrow the presidency and stuff like that. So it's like, you gotta like you can't be so reactive to things that don't go your way or things that you see. And I think what Trump has done, he kind of like he amplifies that, writing in all caps on Twitter. What do we think when we see all caps? Somebody's either yelling or they're really trying to get a point across. And if the president of your country is on there and he's writing in all caps about so and so's this and so and so's that just fuels that's fuel to the fire.
That gives you validity. That gives your argument, your hate validity.
Yeah. And if you don't denounce these, like, what are Proud Boys, which is, it's so funny to me, that name, but you don't denounce them or the KKK or all these like known races that we all know, then you open a door for it. You say, hey, it's okay what they're doing, freedom of speech. Like, yeah, freedom of speech, but that can only go so far till somebody gets shot in the face.
Yeah, exactly. And then person gets shot in the face. Y'all said, "Oh well, that person was just trying to was trying to
R.I.P.
protect, was fighting for our freedoms."
Yeah,
No,
sure.
no, they were not fighting for your freedom. They did at one point in time when they were in the military, but not just then. Not then.
Like it's the people who don't know shit about the Constitution, who could care less about any amendments, who don't even know what tax bracket they're in. All of a sudden, they have all these like worries and like all this information. If you want to look that up, it's free. Go on Google, type in the Constitution, read
They
it.
won't look at anything.
No.
What happened to research? It takes now with Google. Okay, so I was one of those kids. You know, I wanted to know about the world, and this is before we had internet. So the only way to find out about the world was you talk to people or you read the encyclopedia. I've read the Encyclopedia Britannica and the other one. I've read numerous encyclopedias over the years, cover to cover, all the way through, just because random knowledge, that kind of thing.
What's this?
I was a kid reading. You know, we didn't have cable. We had, you know, the switch. So you read. That's how you got you read. You read. You know. So I read a lot.
Right
now with Google, I don't have to do all that reading.
No,
all I gotta do is say, I want to know when King Ferdinand decided to kill the Archbishop and then started World War I. I type it in, it's instantly there.
Yeah, and it's almost, you know, I mean, I know Google is a search engine, but it's based off, you know, information put in by everyone that uses it, pretty much. So it's like it almost can source it for you. You know, like it's a way
it puts the truthful stuff up top. For one.
So yeah, somewhat. I think the more something, the more topic gets, you know, traffic to whatever site or whatever information, the more you can validate it, right? So now instead of like having two sources for some random topic, you have 10,000, and if they all are pretty much saying the same thing, then I'm not saying it's 100% true, but it's more than likely, you know, true. And yeah, I mean, like all this info and everything you need to know is at the touch of a fingertip, and yet we still rather
read it on Twitter.
Read it on Twitter, like, or have, you know, somebody who is a known hater like be your source. Like, come on, like really,
and a known hater too. That's the bad part of it. Like the person was known before this popped off as some kind of white supremacist or some kind of Q conspiracist, you know, thing. And before this even happened, you yourself are probably calling this person's crazy. This person's a conspiracy theorist. This person, blah, blah, blah. Then the moment that the person says something that backs up what you want to believe,
hear what you want to hear.
Now they're perfectly sane.
And that's sad, man. And I'm not saying like one side is bad, one side is good. I mean, they both, we all suffer from the same thing. Hell, I do.
Yes.
I'm sure sometimes I'll read something and I'll just, you know, take it out of context or pick and choose what fits my narrative.
Being black, you're being black in America, you're automatically have a bias in you.
Oh yeah,
it's there. It's just, it comes from this, how we are brought up in this country. There's an automatic bias there. How you choose to react to that bias is up to you, but we all have it. It's all there. The moment we see a black person get arrested on TV, we're like, damn, that person looks like me. The moment that you hear about such and such getting in a fight on TV, you don't see the picture of the person, but you hear a fight on TV. You say this person was arrested for shooting a cop or whatever. In the back of your head, you're immediately going, don't let it be a black person. You know?
Yeah, because these are, you know, the, like, I don't know, we get a lot of, we should get more good news than bad, because we do more good than bad as a whole. And I mean,
but we think of the negative first, though,
because that's what, you know, the people who control what you see, you know, on your TV want you to think or want you to believe. Because, like, I mean, because I know, I am black, but like, that's true. You know what I mean? Like, there's always gonna be criminals. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's always gonna be bad people. This is that. You know what I'm trying to say.
Criminals are a product of opportunity. If the opportunity exists, then a criminal will exist. If the opportunity is still from you is there, then if it's easier for them to do that than to get work, because sometimes it really is impossible for some people to get work, then some people are going to do that to survive. That's not right. It's not right at all. But I do see why they're doing what they're doing. Doesn't mean I agree with it or understand it. I just see why they're doing it.
Right. So that's why, like, you know, I think there needs to be, well, there kind of is, but that's why, like, platforms like, I mean, I can't even say, I can say YouTube, but they have their own, terms. And
but you have to look for it on YouTube.
yeah, you gotta have like your source of news or information and things you want to know from like credible, but also multiple sources.
Multiple sources is my thing, because I like CNN. I like MSNBC. I think they both do a good job, but they both are organizations owned by a parent company. So
Yeah, see,
there's
that's
going to be a
tough.
bias there. So, but if I can get two of them to pretty much say the exact same thing, then I'm fairly certain it's the truth. If I can get two of the network shows and two of the cable shows to say the exact same thing, then me in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. That's just the way I do it. And then if I can go online on Twitter and Instagram and see the actual news story that they pulled, because all they did was pull a story from the Associated Press somewhere. If I can go there and see the actual story, then I know for a fact, I'm like, oh, okay, that happened.
At some point, you're just gonna have to like get in contact with whoever the story's about.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, right?
Is this Jim? Yeah, this is Jim. All right, man. Listen. I can't trust these sources. Did you kill this dude that everybody's saying on the news? Like, nah, I didn't do it. Like, yeah, okay, I believe you. It would have to be something like that. But
yeah,
oh man, it's crazy. I'm just happy. I do think, as far as this year, I hope things will get better. But whether they get better for worse, I'm always gonna, take care of myself. Like I'm not gonna get caught up in a lot of the nonsense and pick and choose my battles, I guess.
that's one thing that we have to remember. I think at the end of the day, even when it comes to racism and oppression and crazy insurrectionists, these are all national issues as well as individual issues.
Right.
So you can't let a national issue control your everyday life.
Exactly. Just keep winning.
Yeah, exactly. Keep winning. You got to keep trucking along, and so many people are caught up in this mess, which is why, I was asked why I'm on Twitter so much lately, and it's because I've been diving literally into these rabbit holes, seeing how
it can get addicting.
How out there they are, and I'm just like, how do these people not get off of here for a little while and go see what the real world is about, and then come back and say,
I'm telling you, man, it's
something.
That's why Twitter and these giant tech companies are so powerful, man, because they know how to get you to just be stuck like for an hour on Instagram or an hour on Facebook and just keep scrolling and diving and diving. The more you do that, it's like cash machines just ching 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 ching. Like every time you touch the screen and scroll, you just hear ching ching. That's how they get you.
Every click. I remember when Twitter first started. Twitter was a joke when it first started. It had this little bird commercial, and it was a bird. It was two people outside in a tree in a car, and the bird would come in, literally go tweet tweet, and fly away, and the people on the porch was like, "Oh, that's that new Twitter." He tweeted. That was a whole commercial for years. No one knew what anything was Twitter about. For like 2 or 3 years, Twitter didn't do anything. All of a sudden, it blew up.
It's funny, I didn't think Twitter was like, I'm sure they dodged the bullet because Twitter really sounds like tooted. Like, so when they first came out, they had to be very clear that this is Twitter, not tooted. Like, hey, let me see that toot. That like what? He's tooting now.
I won't say it right now because even though our show is unrated, I won't say this last part, but I will say I thought it sounds like another word, very closely to another word, and so I'm like, how are they getting away?
How are they getting away with that? What is that? What's the meaning behind that bird?
I know, like, where'd they come up with this one?
I don't know. All right, man. What was I gonna say? You want to do? Yeah, I don't have. You want to do what the Florida?
Yeah, we do what the Florida. Unless you got anything else.
I had some other stuff, but it's not relatable. Don't even worry about it.
It's not relatable.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
We needed some people to ask us some questions so we can answer some questions on the show.
You know what I have?
Yeah, that'd be good.
The other one, I had a title on the other week. So my sister, I don't know if you were listening, but my sister got me this for Christmas and a couple other things, but it's called Table Topics. So basically, it's like a conversation starter. And basically you pull a card out and ask. But I noticed some of these have been like really not personal, but they're not really like, all right, here we go. Just for instance, does Facebook make you feel, I don't know if you can see it,
Make you feel
make
worse
you feel
about yourself.
better or worse about yourself?
Neither.
Not okay. You gotta give me an answer. All right, let's do a different one.
Oh no, but I mean that's my answer though. I mean, well, because back, you know, when Facebook first came out, you know, before Instagram and all that stuff, then yeah, it'd be like, okay, cool, I can connect with old friends, blah blah. But now, this many years later, I'm like, it's just Facebook. It literally is just a place that I keep pictures of my kids on that are really old and our show stuff. Other than that, I really use the Facebook. I really don't.
Let's do a different one. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Are you in love with email or overwhelmed by it?
I am overwhelmed by my email. I have 2 gigs worth of emails stuff to go through, and I haven't done. Yeah,
I'm gonna get an external hard drive just for email.
I'm not going through all that mess. Nope. It's gonna keep collecting, and then when I kick the bucket one day, my kids can go through all my emails and delete all that crap.
Inherit my email. Yeah. What, did you inherit money? No, I inherited 2 terabytes worth of emails.
So in the digital age, should there be a master key? Like, should families have a master key? So when
like all their info.
Say if an individual dies unexpectedly, or your spouse or your child or whatever, they most likely have some kind of an internet presence at that point. You know, we all have our internet presence. You know, ours is our show. You know, even individually, still mirrors our show stuff. So, you know, everyone has an internet presence. Wonder what if there was a key, so someone passed away unexpectedly. You go, okay, well, I don't want all this stuff about them to still be out there for forever for anyone to get into or do whatever they want to with. Or maybe I want access to their pictures because it means something to me. I think there should be a master way.
Like a USB drive that just has all your info?
Not necessarily a USB drive, but like say a cross-reference with death records that the moment your death hits a death record,
deletes you off the history of it
deletes your online. Yeah, it deletes your history, or at least, or it sends a password to whoever your merchant contact is. Say basically, this is my master password to everything, and we'll get you everything that person has ever had.
That'd be dope, but you know how many people are gonna be faking their deaths just to disappear off the grid? Oh my goodness, they've like deaths has went up 200% somehow. I don't know how that is possible. And everybody's requesting it, and the internet would just be blank. It would be nothing on there. It would just be an empty webpage with just nothing but memorials for everybody that died.
And Trump, it'd be Trump by himself.
Everybody that's dead. That'd be kind of cool. I think they do have like. I think the hard part is because you know they always say once it's on the internet, it's pretty much
permanent. Yeah. So say it doesn't scrub, but say it gives your family the ability to at least take some of the stuff, bad stuff about you.
So they have control if they want to keep it or not. Yeah. Like some type of that'd be kind of cool. I don't know how the hell that would.
It would have to match a death. It would have to match a death certificate. It would have to be like like
you would have to that can wipe you.
Yeah, it has to be something that says, okay, we've been able to verify this through death records. So there you go.
That could be possible. That could be possible. Like they could easily just, you know, any type of hits, like as far as like your spelling of your name and any off spelling, and then like a picture of your face or any, you know, that would pull up like how you can do. Well, I don't know if you can do it, but I seen it on Catfish where they can like pull up a picture of like a face and kind of see where it comes from. Yeah, that'd be kind of dope. Actually, but it'll help a lot of people. But then like I feel like it's gonna hurt some.
It's
shit. Yeah, you know, like
it's gonna hurt some. Like you're gonna have some like cheating husbands who
somebody's gonna abuse it. Somebody's gonna
in a car wreck or something. All of a sudden his wife finds out. You know, he's been cheating on me for 20 years. That's kind of a bad thing. Yeah,
he's already dead. So
and then that will actually probably be the case. Oh, he's gone. He was, even though he was a cheat, he was good to me the whole time.
Is he really gone?
Who knows? And there you go. That's another reason. Oh, he may be faking. Let me see if he updates his stuff in like a year.
New name, new face, everything. Oh man. All right. Well, that was a good answer. Right. So that was a good answer. So what we got?
All right. So welcome. Let's get into What to Florida. So normally here's a section where I'll tell you all the rules of What to Florida. But since we are on our 52nd show, it's not a 52nd overall show. Have over 200 shows. I'm pretty sure by this point. but this is our 50-second actual viewable show. So with that being the case, I'm no longer going to do the instructions. I'm not going to do the instructions anymore. If you want to know, you have to check out other What the Florida segments. Look back, let us know what you think, and then you'll see where we're going with this. But with that being said, all right, co-host, are you ready for What the Florida?
I'm ready.
All right, all righty. So let's go here. Let's start with this one, because this one kind of sets the tone for this past week. Mm-hmm. Florida man sets himself on fire while trying to commit arson.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean,
police say
surprising at all.
Yeah, I know, right? Police say Scott Anthony Massa, 51, was hospitalized with serious injuries after burning himself while trying to set a home on fire early Sunday morning. Police say Massa, I hate his name.
Massa?
I'm just saying I don't like his name. Massa. Wow. And he is a white dude. But whatever. Your name's your name. but you know where that name came from. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
Police say Massa broke a window at a home located on the street, then tried to throw a bucket full of accelerant into the home. But it ignited, exploded, and set him on fire, according to the police department. Police say the residence was not set on fire and no occupants were injured. There were people in that home then, I guess. What?
Massa. All right.
K9 units tried to find Massa, but police say the trail was lost after he got into a vehicle and drove away. After Massa's description, including his injuries, was broadcast to all officers. An officer working extra duty at the hospital detained Massa when he showed up at the facility with obvious injuries.
What happened? I fell
into a pit of fire. Yes, into a pit of fire.
Campfire. In an oven. Idiot. All right.
Yeah, he's a dummy. All right, second one. This is stupid. Man jailed after snoring loudly at McDonald's.
I agree with that. I hate loud snores. I agree 100%.
He's at McDonald's, man. He's just trying to catch some sleep while he's eating the food. Man, what's wrong with that? He had the itis. He's trying to get the itis napping. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm telling you, I hate snoring.
You yourself probably snore. You know that, right?
I mean,
I'm just saying, you probably snore.
Maybe I think
everyone's going to eventually snore at some point. No one gets through life without snoring.
I snore sometimes, but I just hate like loud snoring. Like, I know some people who snore like you could be in a different room and be like, "Yo, is somebody leave like the dishwasher on, or is like the dryer running, or something?" Like you would think it was some type of mechanical machine, being used in the middle of the night. Is so loud. Those type of people.
I've been married to those type of people, so trust me.
I can't do it. That's a deal breaker. It is 100%.
But you don't know. That's a problem. Some of them, I don't know how they do it. They just have this silent sleep, and all of a sudden you like get serious, and all of a sudden like the sleep changes all of a sudden, and now it sounds like a bear is in the bedroom.
That's even more of a deal breaker.
What?
if you snore so loud that I can hear you literally in another room or in the basement or upstairs, and you can't even wake yourself up. No, that is a deal breaker. Dogs too. It's not just humans, pets too. They snore like, man, everybody gone. I'm sorry, I gotta get my sleep.
Yeah, I had it all that snore. It was actually kind of funny, kind of funny, a little cute that he snored. You know? All right, so a 28-year-old man was arrested after snoring loudly and apparently sleeping behind the wheel at a McDonald's drive-thru. An affidavit states the case of the dozing dude began around 3:47 a.m. December 20th, when the sheriff's office deputy went to McDonald's for a suspicious vehicle. A deputy spotted a man in a Ford pickup parked in the outside drive-thru lane, snoring loudly. Snoring is the hoarse or harsh sound that occurs when air flows past relaxed tissues in your
That was in
throat,
there?
causing. Yeah, I know. The actual definition is in there. Causing tissues to vibrate as you breathe, according to the Mayo Clinic. Blah 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 blah. Snoring. Okay, this is for you though. Snoring can be caused by a number of factors such as the anatomy of your mouth and sinuses, alcohol consumption, allergies.
I give the alcohol one. Yeah.
Allergies, a cold, and your weight.
All right. Well,
see.
Still,
so the man's the man seemed to be sleeping in the drive-thru as opposed to sleeping with the enemy in 1991 movie. This person wrote some. This is a funny write-up.
What the hell?
This person wrote this was perfect. It was perfect.
It's a movie. Man,
McDonald's does not. McDonald's does not have a sleep through. McDonald's does not have a sleep through lane. Meanwhile, the man woke and the deputy asked for his license. I don't have one. He is quoted as saying, his truck smelled of booze and his seats were slurred.
Well, at least he went to sleep. I guess
he was arrested on charges of DUI and knowingly driving with a suspended license. So that's second guy.
All right.
The actual police report says observed a Hispanic male who was sole occupant of the vehicle snoring loudly as he appeared to be asleep. It should be noted that the truck was off. However, the keys to the vehicle were still in the ignition. Then I got the attention of the male as he awakened and advised him that I was a law enforcement deputy and why my presence was required.
All right. Well, I mean, like
that story too. Like I said, everyone's talking about the riot right now. No one's trying to do anything crazy because they're afraid that they might get picked up for the riot thing. They're like, no, I wasn't in Washington. I was at home. I'm just a Florida man doing stupid stuff. Like the other Florida man who stole the Speaker's Pelosi's lectern. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got caught. I think he got caught.
Yeah, he did.
He's probably crying and shit.
Do you know where he got caught at?
Probably at work.
No, I mean like what part of Florida?
Here?
Yeah, he was a Florida man. He was a Florida man.
Jacksonville.
No, you're right the first time. Pinellas.
He got caught. I've probably seen the dude in public or something. You know what I mean?
His wife's a doctor. He's got 5 kids. His wife's a doctor.
Like,
anyway,
kids.
Yeah. Third story. I couldn't do that Florida man story because I wanted to, but everyone in the world knows who that guy was. So,
but like, what do you even tell your kids? Hey, Dad, I saw you on TV. Are you in trouble?
Why do you have an ankle monitor on? And he does have an ankle monitor on.
Are you in trouble? That's funny.
Florida man calls 911 about McDonald's order and says he has cocaine in his butt.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. Say that one.
All right. So here's the story. Man calls 911 about McDonald's order and says he has cocaine in his butt. Ready?
Well, I mean, that's one way to get it across.
I mean, if you got to go, but anyway, here's the story. And the cocaine, a man hinted as he was being loaded into the back of a sheriff's patrol car. Deputies asked him to clarify. That's what he literally said. And the cocaine.
And the cocaine.
And the cocaine.
Yeah, so he was already tripping.
Yeah,
cocaine.
The deputies asked him to clarify what he was saying. He stated, "I have cocaine in my butt." 56-year-old Mustafa Oradi answered. Oradi had called 911 3 times early Wednesday morning from the McDonald's on a trail. He said they had gotten his burger order wrong twice, according to a report. So I'm gonna call 911. You messed my order twice. I'm calling 911. I don't care if people getting killed. I don't care if people getting stolen. You messed my order. I want you arrested. I'm calling 911.
Yeah. You only get one shot at that.
Yeah,
one opportunity.
When deputies arrived at the McDonald's, employees said Oradi had been yelling and cursing at staff over his mistaken order, and they wanted him taken from the premises. Oradi said he wouldn't leave unless his burger was fixed. The deputy told him again that he had to leave. Fine, then take me to jail. I'm not leaving, he said as he raised his hands toward the deputy, the report states. The deputy escorted the disgruntled customer from the burger joint. Upon searching his pockets, the deputy found marijuana folded into a napkin.
Okay.
But while he was being placed into the patrol car, he then admitted to having another drug tucked away in his crack.
At least he's honest, though. Like, you got it. I mean, they're going to ask you, you got any weapons on you think I should know about? Yeah, I got a gram of cocaine up my butt right now, or in the crack of my butt. But I'm starting to sweat, and I'm worried that it's going to burst open, and then next thing you know, I won't be hungry anymore.
Pretty much, he said his statement to the medics when they arrived was, "Watch what you do to me, you'll be sorry." He stated as he combated both deputy and medical help. The report states.
Was he like threatening overdose?
The deputy had to. The deputy had
to. If I fart, I will black out. I swear to God.
The deputy had to help load Guardy on the stretcher a second time because he kept trying to get up. Leg shackles were finally placed on him, and he was taken to the community hospital.
That's good. Take it to the hospital. Good. That shit. All right, so let's see. First guy almost burned himself on fire. Yeah, he did burn himself on fire. I'm gonna say, oh man, if I was gonna burn myself on fire, I'd probably do it near a body of water. I don't know. South Florida.
If you were to go by what I said and made Tampa, South Florida, then yes, but no, it's in Tampa.
All right. Oh, well, let's see. Oh, okay. I was thinking about this hospital too for some reason. All right, fair enough. All right, story number 2, which was to do snoring
in a McDonald's. Yep.
Oh man, I'm gonna say north.
I'm gonna say north. Well, that was also wrong because it happened also in Indian Rocks River Beach.
Oh man! All right, so what? These all the same spot. All right.
Let's see. We're doing here. Let's see.
Final story.
Probably
the same McDonald's, to be honest. The guy that sleep. It seems like they get a lot of fucking knuckleheads at their McDonald's. I'm gonna say
here
Central.
It is.
I'm gonna say Central.
Really, you're gonna go with Central?
I'm going with Central. My heart's telling me go with Central.
And it happened in Naples. It happened in Naples.
Otherwise,
it happened in Naples. I figured the name would give it away. It's cocaine, and his name is Mustafa Orati.
See, whatever. If you're gonna lose big.
Miami
all
day.
I see it. God, I hope he's okay.
Miami all day.
We should to follow up on Marafa, whatever his name is.
I know we need to do like next, for spring break. Hey, this is instead of what the Florida is. What the Florida? Where are they now?
Where are they now? 5 years. Where are they now? Like most of them are dead. One guy was on fire. One guy a bag of cocaine in his butt. All right.
This is what meth does to you. This is what meth does to you.
That was a little wild. You got anything else?
I don't have anything else. What about you?
I am golden.
All right.
Actually, I have to go pick up some meals. I've been trying to meal prep a little bit.
Yeah, I'm meal prepping. We've been doing meal prep. That's where coming to New Year, I decided to make some changes. I started actually before the New Year started, so that way it wouldn't be considered a New Year resolution. But making some changes, so it's things are a little bit different because 2020 was hard. 2020 was hard for everybody. So I'm just want to put that one away, nice little box, forget about it. Start this one out the right way. Yeah,
let's do it.
So, but with that being said, happy 2021, everybody. Glad to have you back. Glad to be back in my seat. I am Sean the King Torres.
And it's your boy, Mike.
This has been the weekly review.
Take care. We'll see you next week. Yes.